The 2012 NASCAR Championship was coming down to five-time champion Jimmie Johnson and a couple of drivers looking for their first title, Brad Keselowski and Clint Bowyer. Keselowski was just 7 points behind Jimmie Johnson entering the race, with Bowyer 36 behind, but still with an outside chance if the top two had issues in one of the final races. With 2 races to go, it was all up for grabs. But just before we get into the video, remember to leave a like and subscribe, it really does help me out. Also consider following me on Twitter, link in description below. Anyways, let's get right into the video. The top 3 championship contenders were all starting mid-pack, so no one really had an advantage at the start of the race. Kyle Busch on pole didn't make any mistakes and kept his lead through the opening stages of the race, but the yellow came out quickly on lap 18.
In this race, Mike Bliss in the 19.
We talked about how treacherous and tricky it is back there through that kink. You got to make sure you got room to come up.
Mike Bliss got tangled up with Timmy Hill, resulting in Bliss retiring from the race. Bliss joined Martin Truex Jr. and Jason Leffler, who were already out with car troubles. On the restart, Kyle Busch held off Casey Kane for the lead, while Brad Keselowski and Jimmie Johnson had nice battles on track trying to make their way through slower cars. By the time of the next caution, 4 more drivers had retired for car issues, with 3 of those citing brake issues. Just after lap 50, David Gilliland slammed hard into the outside wall after a right front tire failure.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, right front.
Ah, man.
Oh, that's a bad feeling. Nothing you can do as a driver. Hang on and
Wow.
just feel fortunate you have that safer barrier out there this day and time.
By lap 100, Johnson's point lead had shrunk to just 2 points, while Bowyer failed to make up much ground, sitting 35 points behind. Keselowski still looked pretty competitive up in P7, while Johnson and Bowyer sat just outside the top 10. Kyle Busch still led, but a charging Denny Hamlin was closing in on him and eventually passed him on lap 118. The next caution didn't come out till lap 167, but was only for debris. However, under caution, everyone pitted. While his championship rivals took 4 tires, Bowyer took only 2 and jumped up to 5th place, with Brad in 7th and Johnson still outside the top 10, looking in. Over the next green flag run, Johnson managed to climb up to 6th, but things took a turn for the worse.
On that car all afternoon long. Keselowski very comfortable. We got a problem with the 48.
48 is into the wall, Vince. Jimmie Johnson has hit the wall.
Go ahead and wheel it around here, buddy. We'll get some new tires on there. We'll take a look at it.
Yeah, he's hit it hard. He's got some problems too. When he's hit no brakes, it means he probably broke the brake rotor on the right front. They'll have to replace that.
With just 77 laps to go, Jimmie had a tire let go that sent him hard into the wall on the exit of turn 4. Although not as hard of an impact as Gilliland's earlier, it was enough to put Jimmie behind the wall for most of the remaining race. This was now a chance for Brad Keselowski to swing the championship in his favor, or for Clint Bowyer to creep his way in if Keselowski had any misfortunes. At this point in the race, Kyle Busch had retaken control of the race and seemed virtually unbeatable. With 40 laps to go, the caution was back out, this time for David Ragan. Under this caution, most of the leaders didn't pit, but Brad Keselowski pitted out of 3rd place. He would only fall to 8th, but now Clint Bowyer had track position on him, up to 6th.
Brad Keselowski comes in from 3rd position, while Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin and a few others stay out. Vince?
We discussed how many laps he had on his tires, 32, and how many cars are on the lead lap, 19. And both Brad Keselowski and crew chief Paul Wolfe agreed, let's bring it in, put on some tires, left sides only for the 2.
Just a couple of laps after the restart, the caution would be out again, this time for Tony Stewart spinning.
That didn't sound healthy. Almost looked like Menard ran out of brakes there, and then Stewart's going to run up.
yeah, I was noticing the yellow Goodyear paint was worn off the left rear tire. Now see why.
After the restart, things seemed to settle. It appeared Keselowski would take a commanding lead in the championship of 19 or 20 points, while Clint Bowyer would take a small chunk out of the deficit and be only 5 points behind Johnson because of his solid top 5 effort. However, things didn't quite go down like this. It started with Sam Hornish Jr., who after a tire rub from Danica Patrick brought out the caution with 11 laps to go after his tire finally let go in the middle of turns 3 and 4.
on the front just gave way.
Yep.
Oh, boy.
I'll tell you what, that was hard living. Wow. Yeah, they were trying to get it to the pit road.
Things really started to get interesting on the restart with only 9 to go, while not only a race win was on the line, but a championship for some drivers. Clint Bowyer was fighting Jeff Gordon viciously for 5th place, knowing that 1 point could be the difference of him winning or losing the championship. He made slight contact with Gordon's left rear, and Gordon attempted to retaliate the next lap. His attempt failed, and Gordon's car drifted high into the outside wall. You may be thinking, what a wild moment for a championship contender, but the drama didn't end there.
Turning Clint Bowyer into the wall, collecting Joey Logano. Caution flag is out.
That was a real act of a champion.
Almirola slides in. Did the leader take the white flag before the caution came out?
Slip into the garage, straight right. Fire's gone, fire's gone.
With only 2 laps to go, Clint Bowyer had caught all the way back up to Jeff Gordon, and Gordon did not miss the chance of retaliation this time. He turned Bowyer hard into the wall, collecting Joey Logano and Eric Almirola, ending all of their days except Almirola's. The red flag was thrown immediately, while there was debate if leader Kevin Harvick had taken the white flag before the caution was thrown. Amidst this controversy, one of the most iconic confrontations in recent NASCAR history was tipped off. As soon as Gordon got out of his wrecked race car, Bowyer's crew came over to express their displeasure, and Gordon quickly found himself in the middle of a pit crew.
And somewhere in the middle of that is Jeff Gordon.
Just after the skirmish was settled, Bowyer climbed out of his car and chased Gordon down in the garage area. The crash caused Bowyer any shot of the championship, losing out to Keselowski by 39 points by the end of it. Without it, we have no idea how the final round would have played out, but it would have been much closer than how it actually ended. After all this, there was still a trophy to fight for. Harvick led on the restart, and with 2 to go, Danica Patrick crashed and left fuel all over the front stretch.
Danica Patrick into the wall, spinning back down into traffic. White flag is out. The long dry spell for Kevin Harvick and Richard Childress Racing comes to a close at Phoenix. He slides to the finish line while they crash behind him. Keselowski threads the needle as cars crash to the checkered flag.
I don't understand why they didn't throw the caution there. The 10 car was losing a lot of fluid.
Mark Martin, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, all torn up.
As the leaders came off of turn 4, something was obviously not right as they were sliding all over the track. Harvick was able to come across the finish line first, but chaos ensued behind. Several cars were mangled across the start-finish line, including Paul Menard, Kurt Busch, Ryan Newman, Danica Patrick, and more. Despite the incidents on the last 2 laps for Danica, this 17th place finish would be the best of her first part-time season. 15 drivers were out of the race before this last lap incident, which involved 7 more cars. Only 16 drivers were credited with a lead lap finish. It is so rare that you see this many retirements in a cup race that isn't a super speedway. This is definitely one of the wildest NASCAR races in the past decade, and has to be in my personal top 10 favorite races I've ever watched. So, if you add in the championship battle, the crazy controversies, the wrecks, the finish, everything about it, this is definitely one of the wildest races that we have seen in the last decade. It's crazy to think that this race is nearly 10 years old. Anyways guys, that is it for this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and leave a like so I know you guys are enjoying these. Anyways, I will see you in the next video. Peace.